Whether you are young, old, or in between, Mike Nichols' 60s movie with Anne Bancroft and Dustin Hoffman called The Graduate probably rings familiar. One of Canada's versatile, vivacious actresses, Camille Mitchell, brings her gift to the Arts Club stage as Mrs. Robinson in The Graduate. It is my pleasure to welcome Camille Mitchell back to Studio 4 to tell us more. Nice to see you again.
Thank you. Nice to see you as well.
Do you remember how old, not how old you were, gosh, never ask an actress that.
Yes.
Where you were when you saw The Graduate. Did you see the movie?
I did. And I was actually, we were all very young then, weren't we?
We were.
We were
just
very young.
Children.
Yes. And I remember waiting for that ending of the film to brighten up a little bit. I remember them sitting on the bus at the end, Benjamin and Elaine.
Yes.
And waiting for that scene to get a little brighter, because I was a teenager and it was supposed to be romantic. And now, revisiting the play and the story, I see that it was deliberately a bit of a darker edge.
No kidding. Well, you know, too, Mrs. Robinson stuck. If anybody who has an affair with any woman who has an affair with a younger man is a Mrs. Robinson, aren't we?
Yeah. Oh, yes. And I was online looking, sort of just curious to see what kind of characterizations, actually looking for an archetype, looking for a Mrs. Robinson archetype.
Right.
And there's this Mrs. Robinson Society in San Francisco.
Really?
And it's based on the credo of elegance and hedonism, I guess. It's...
Well, you know, Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher, there's many older women with younger men now, and it's kind of cool.
Yes.
They tell me.
Yes.
But Benjamin, I'm beginning to think sleeping with younger men has its disadvantages. Tell me about The Graduate. What is the story for people who did not see the movie, have not seen the play? Essentially, it is...
It is. Benjamin Braddock has just graduated. Big man on campus with offers scholarships to Columbia and Harvard. He comes home to Southern California in 1963 and is lost. And out of boredom and whatever else, takes on an affair with Mrs. Robinson. The mother of he falls in love with Mrs. Robinson's daughter.
Yes.
And to add to the complications, the plot thickens. Mrs. Robinson is also the wife of his best friends. The parents are best friends and have been for a long time, and business associates. So over the winter of 1963 to 64, it's really a tale of what happens not just to Benjamin, but to these two families who have been friends forever. And he grew up with Mrs. Robinson, grew up with her daughter Elaine, grew up with Mr. Robinson as part of the extended family, and here he is, not only having an affair with the mother, but then falling in love with the daughter.
Yes. Again, it gets messy.
It gets very messy.
How did you prepare for this role?
I had to really, I've just come out of raising my own son, and I've just come out of a rather suburban existence that was really more to do with, parent-teacher meetings and this and that. And so to suddenly be looking at French lingerie and the idea of seducing young men, it was like, I have to rethink things. And I had to really consider, Anne Bancroft's performance aside, who played Mrs. Robinson in the Mike Nichols film so brilliantly, I had to really think, who is this person for real? What kind of a woman does this? In the book and the play, much more than in the film, her alcoholism is really talked about.
In the play more?
Much more, yeah. And I don't know if that's because in the day, in Anne Bancroft's day, it was perhaps unseeming for a star of her nature to be labeled as that kind of, it was bad enough that she was taking on that role.
Right.
I don't know if they didn't want to taint her reputation further by adding this, but certainly in the play, all they talk about is how she's a drunk. Pour her in the cab, she's So
the play was adapted by
Terry Johnston,
Yes.
British writer. In 2004, Kathleen Turner.
on Broadway.
On Broadway, yep, and the West End. I gather that there is a scene in this play that's not in the film and not in the novel. Oh. It's a scene after the showdown when it's revealed that
on that day.
On that day. And the mom and daughter have a scene together, which was written especially for the play, and I gather at Miss Turner's insistence. And
so this is Elaine and her mom.
Yeah.
And her mom is saying this happened because, or what?
Well, they get drunk together.
Oh, perfect. That would help.
Yes. More alcohol. That's all we need.
Yes.
So in this scene, it gives a little more insight into Mrs. Robinson, and certainly it gives a little more insight into this family dynamic.
And when we were just talking about family dynamics, and whether the daughter truly understands or doesn't, that'll come out if you see the play.
Exactly. Yes.
What was your last play?
The last play was, well, I've been workshopping new plays with the Playwrights Theater on Granville Island. But the last play I did was at the Stanley. It was Dinner with Friends with Jackson.
Oh.
Which was great fun.
Yeah, Jackson Davies?
Yes.
How much fun. And in this play, there's Jerry Wasserman, who plays your husband.
Plays my husband, Hal, yes. And Lisa Bunting and Bill Dow, who play Benjamin's parents, the Braddocks. And the lovely Celine Stubel, who plays Elaine, who's wonderful. And, of course, Kayvon Koshkum, who plays Benjamin, who's wonderful.
Oh,
Lois
what a great
Anderson
cast.
directs. And, yeah.
Well, people may not know your background, but you have a meat-packing grandfather. Wasn't it Intercontinental Packers or something? Yeah, Intercontinental Packers. And a father who was a famous actor.
Yes.
Tell me about him.
Well, in fact, he actually, one of his first films ever was with Anne Bancroft. They were both starting out, and it was a movie called Flight to Mars, way back when. And,
I didn't know.
I think it's Flight to Mars. No, right. Gorilla at Large, even better title, Gorilla at Large. Yeah. Yes, Dad did a lot. He was the original Happy on Broadway. He was...
Cameron Mitchell.
Yeah, he was a big star in the 40s and 50s and 60s.
Did he want you to grow up and be in showbiz or on the stage or in film? Did he care?
You know, I had one of those strange childhoods in that I didn't want to go into acting. I thought it was a really frivolous profession. It was actually my parents who were really upset that I wasn't considering this, because my mother had been an actress in Europe under Max Reinhardt and was preparing to do Titania in Midsummer Night's Dream, and got out just literally the day before the Anschluss. Her understudy was dating a Nazi sympathizer, unbeknownst to the rest of the cast, and basically made arrangements to get my mother and her family out of Vienna. Literally, in fact, we have the poster from Midsummer Night's Dream, directed by Max Reinhardt, and the date is the day of the Anschluss.
So your background is, you call it Ish.
Oh, yeah.
Jewish, Amish,
Jewish,
Irish?
Amish, Irish, yeah, the Ish, we're the Ish
group.
tribe, the Ish group.
The Ish tribe. and actors are a tribe in a sense, as you know. There's a great family behind the curtain.
Absolutely.
On the road.
Oh, yes, yes. I'd see you can kind of, if you're an actor and you're kind of welcome in the land of the actors. And theater certainly is very much like that, maybe even more so than TV and film. I think the stage, being in the trenches of live theater, it certainly establishes a real sister and brotherhood.
Do you have a favorite stage you play? A Stratford Arts Club, but you have to say Arts Club today.
Yes,
but you know, a stage you'd like to appear on, off Broadway.
I got very fond of actually the Courthouse Theater at Shaw, because that was sort of where I
in Ontario.
Yeah, that's where I what's the word? Sharpened your teeth or whatever.
Honed your skills?
Yes, yes. And I have fond memories of
I'm sure
of that, yeah.
What about director? Directors you love to work with?
Well, Lois Anderson has directed Graduate. She's an awesome talent.
Bill Millard picks them well.
Yes, he does. I've loved working with Bill. One of my all-time favorites is Robin Phillips. I played Titania for him in Midsummer Night's Dream, and Elizabeth in The Crucible, and Elizabeth in Brent Carver's Richard III.
Oh my!
And
The Crucible, such a great play. Was it one of your favorites?
Yes, one of my absolute favorite. Yes, and then Jack Wetherell and I did with Robin. We did Dangerous Liaisons in the States. And Robin just has, he's just extraordinary. And working with Christopher Newton as well has always been a wonderful thing.
For sure. I was talking to Sir Jonathan Miller.
Oh, God, one of my heroes.
I know, he was here last week. He's in town putting some final touches on La Traviata.
I wish I could see that.
He's amazing. But he said to me, you know, because of course he directed Olivier and others and Christopher Plummer, and he really is the definitive opera guy and many other things. He's a physician too, as you know. He's like a neuropsychologist. Ridiculous. He's a polymath. But he said one of the tricks to directing people is the nuances, the little motions, the flick of hair, or how you, it's the little things that people observe and believe. He said it better than I'm saying it, but that was sort of the message.
I think that is so true. I think there's a language beyond just the words. We have a language, humans have a language that does involve a flick of a hair or a, Robin, one of the things too I loved working with him, he would direct on the level. He would say the audience sees everything you see. Don't pretend it's not there. If there's an actor screaming at you when they're supposed to be talking to you, to keep your credibility with the audience, you really have to let them know that they're they're shouting at you. If there's a moment that's not real, ask the other actor, say the line again. Ask them the same question if you don't believe them. So there was a real, or he would take who you were as a person, you know, and get that in motion in terms of, oh, you're a musical comedy star. Well, I've been doing classical. You know, get that kind of conflict happening as the underbelly of a scene. So that it wasn't just the conflict of the scene you were working on, it was, he would find any moments of conflict that might work just as human beings. But Jonathan Miller is, I think he's brilliant.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, he is brilliant, plain and simple.
Yes.
Yes, I have a feeling he breezed through Cambridge. I know he did. He's a straight A guy. So the Kittenish Mrs. Robinson, back to The Graduate, unhappy, unfulfilled, alcoholic.
Yeah, oh yes, and, you know, research, only 4% of American women attended university when Mrs. Robinson attended university.
Okay.
Says something about her mind power, right? 1941, she gets pregnant, roughly, and Elaine is born to be a 20-year-old in the early 60s. And Mrs. Robinson dropped out of university. So there's a good mind there that went for naught.
Unfulfilled, always wanting to have been the woman she knew she could be.
Yeah, and I you know, I think that there's an outsiderness about Benjamin and an outsiderness about her.
Right.
That also there's a common link there. And all the scenes, she's never with the grown-ups. She's always with
the
Benjamin,
kids.
with the kids.
I know, and it's sort of age smage, but it's deeper than that.
Yes.
Like, who cares about your age? It's not really that. I guess I can't tell it on television, but
Oh, go ahead.
I know someone who, when she divorced her husband, she started sleeping with her best friend's son. Oh, that was alarming.
Yeah, that's similar.
But can you imagine playing golf with your best friend, knowing that you're having a little affair? Oh my God, with her son? It's a play.
Oh my
Another
God.
day.
Oh my God. And Charles Webb wrote a sequel to The Graduate. You know, it was the novel first, Charles Webb, and then now he's written a sequel finally in 2008 called Homeschool. And apparently poor Mrs. Braddock, Benjamin's mom, had a nervous breakdown after she found out that her son was having an affair with Mrs. Robinson.
Again,
So, yeah.
it gets messier and messier. What next, or do you know?
Well, next for me is a little holiday, and I've been also learning filmmaking, documentary filmmaking at Capilano University.
Really?
Through the
And
Film
is there
Center.
a field of passion for you?
There is. I'm loving it very much. I've already done a short, the first 5-minute short about the women's liberation today on campus, called No Boys Allowed, and I'm looking to this time next year, actually finishing my second short through the department. So I'm excited.
Oh, great. Well, let's walk the seawall.
Awesome.
And chat.
Yes. I would
Nice
love
to
that.
see you again.
Lovely to see you. Thank
you.
Fanny.
Camille Mitchell, The Graduate, until Saturday, May 14th, the Arts Club, Granville Island Stage.